All right, good afternoon, guys, or good evening, I should say. I just wanted to kind of come out and kind of speak to everybody regarding some of the things that are probably going to come up based on the communication that I just sent out regarding scrimmages. So, what I wanted to say basically was we have a lot of technology at our fingertips, and I just wanted to speak to that for just a second. And I thank everybody that's watching. I appreciate it. I'm sorry for the late notice, but I've been working all day, and it was an idea that popped into my head, and I just wanted to kind of get out and just kind of really address the board. So I guess for the first time, I can say that this is the first CCAFO communication from commissioner to board. So I just want to go ahead and talk about some of the things. So the first thing I want to discuss is the email that went out, if you haven't seen it, regarding schedules. Scrimmages. Last week, the assignment committee met for the first time, and an idea came up from that assignment committee about self-assigning games for scrimmages. I thought it was a great idea. We went ahead and tried to implement that idea. We're going to try to test it this year, and if it's successful, we're just going to go ahead and move forward with that process. Basically, what's going to happen is all of the scrimmages are now in Arbiter. You can actually log into Arbiter, select the scrimmage. You're going to see positions associated with that scrimmage, and you can go ahead and select the game that fits your schedule the best. The reason that this is a great idea is a lot of guys have only blocked out their games after September 7th. So prior to September 7th, when we have scrimmages, there are a lot of blocks on the schedule that are preventing me to go ahead and schedule the scrimmages. So you guys know your schedules better than anybody, so you can go ahead and self-assign your own scrimmage. When you go into Arbiter, you're actually going to see all of the games, and they're going to be listed by position. For example, when Enfield is playing, let's say, Connard, you're going to see 6 positions. You'll see the referee, the umpire, the back judge, etc., etc. You can just click on that position and assign yourself to that position, and then you'll be in that scrimmage. What's going to happen, let's say Ron Patry wants to do a plat scrimmage, and the only position is the back judge. Well, he can go ahead and assign himself to that scrimmage, and as anybody knows who attends a scrimmage anyway, it's a kind of a policy with the board that we always rotate positions. There's very few of us that work just one position, so we should be rotating to get work at multiple positions. So I will let that speak for itself when you guys get to the scrimmage of how you're going to go ahead and assign and work. But we should be rotating, and everybody should get work at multiple positions. The next thing I want to talk about is the self-assigning. You can only assign yourself to one scrimmage per day. So if you see that there's 2 scrimmages that you want to be involved, let's say today, you look at the scrimmages, one on, let's say, August 31st that meets your schedule, and then there's one on September 3rd. Well, you can only sign up for one scrimmage per day. And the reason is because what you see in Arbiter now is all that's been provided to me. Any scrimmages that get added later will come at a later time. So therefore, I can only add the scrimmages that are available. So as schools continue to add their games into Arbiter, then we can go ahead and make those games available for self-assigning, and then you can assign your scrimmages. Keep in mind, once you assign yourself to a scrimmage, you cannot unassign yourself. So make sure that when you do assign, that it's a game that you can attend. As my communication said, if you want to work more scrimmages, so be it. That policy has never changed with the board. If you want to work 3, 4, 5 scrimmages, you can work as many scrimmages as you want, but you need to self-assign yourself to at least 2 in order to meet the off-season requirement. The off-season requirement is that everyone must complete the state exam, you must complete the interpretation meeting or the state clinic, and you must meet 2 scrimmages to be eligible for varsity assignments. So if you meet those requirements, then you're going to get a varsity schedule. Throughout the last 6 weeks or so, I've been working on the schedule. Today, I completed 10 weeks of scheduling games. The only thing that's left is week 11 and 12. I've set aside the 10th week for playoff games. It's going to be on a Saturday. Unfortunately, I don't have the date in front of me, but I've already blocked off the games that our playoff crews will be working. This year, we are going to have 2 quarterfinal games and 2 semifinal games, and those dates have already been set aside. So when I release the schedule on September 1st, I will be releasing 9 weeks at that point in time. If you haven't met the requirements for the off season, completed your test, completed your 2 scrimmages, attended interpretation or the state clinic, I will remove your name from your schedule and there will be no more varsity assignments. So hopefully everybody meets those requirements and we don't have to go that route. The next thing I wanted to talk about what the scrimmage was the new members. If you graduated from the new members class this year, you will not be allowed to self-assign games. So if you try to log into Arbiter and you try to self-assign your game, you will not have that capability. I will be sending out a communication tomorrow once I can confirm the new member scrimmage, and then you guys will be able to go ahead and attend that scrimmage. As far as ECOs are concerned, full-time ECOs will not be able to self-assign games to scrimmages. If you are an on-field official and you do not have the ability to self-assign, please send me an email and I will go ahead and make sure that you're a member in good standing and you can go ahead and self-assign. The next thing is our stripes. We've been getting a lot of questions about switching over to the 2 1/4 inch stripes. There's been a little bit of delay in the logo process. That is my fault, and I have that rectified, and I should be sending the printer the logo sometime tomorrow. They have assured me that we should have our Connecticut CCAFO page set up on their website, which is Smitty's. That should be set up, I would say, by Tuesday, and guys would be able to start ordering the new shirts, I would hopefully by midweek. Keep in mind that the shirts are not mandatory for this year. Okay, the shirts are not mandatory until the start of the 2020 season. The only guys who need the shirts while we're bending over backwards to get them out are the new members. New members have no gear at this present time, so we do not want them to buy the 1 inch and then have to switch over and buy the 2 1/4 inch. So we're trying to get them this information out to them as quickly as possible so we can get the new members their shirts. The last thing that I wanted to talk about, again, was our technology. As some of you guys had a chance to come to some of my commissioner forums, you had the chance to hear me say that, guys, this is not my board, it's our board. We have a lot of experience. We're losing a lot of guys over the last couple of years, and we need to replace those guys. Unfortunately, some of the guys that we're trying to replace them with do not have the on-field experience, and we need to get them that experience as quickly as possible. The only way to get them that experience is to get them on the field. The better officiating committee is going to do everything in their power to go ahead and get new members on the field. Last year, we instituted the 4th man program, and this year we're going to institute 2, maybe 3 BOC scrimmages to get guys some additional work. During our assignment committee meeting, there were 8 to 10 officials that we did not know who you were. We had names, but if you go into Arbiter, there were no profile pictures. Therefore, we couldn't really evaluate you or assess you just based on that information. As I said earlier in the communication, it's important, guys, for veterans and new officials to update your Arbiter information. It works twofold in both ways. So please, guys, go into Arbiter, update your profile picture. And it's nice that we put a picture of our favorite sports team or our dog or kid, but those aren't the people that we need to see and look at. We need to see your face. It should be the front of your face, not the side profile. We need to be able to click on your profile and recognize that it is you. So if everybody can go ahead and take that time to go ahead and update their information, it would be extremely helpful, not only to myself, but to the assignment committee moving forward. Lastly, as I said before, this is our board. This is not my board, it's our board. Throughout the commissioners' forums, the time that we spoke, I had an opportunity to speak to a lot of officials. You guys shared a lot of personal stories. You shared a lot of professional information. And everyone had the same goal in mind, trying to make our board the best board in the state of Connecticut. Right now, we have the technology, as you can see, at our fingertips. So to say that we can't do anything is the understatement. We have a lot of bright minds on our board. With the technology, with the right plan, we can put anything in mind. If I can speak to our board today like this, who knows? Maybe in the future we can have our meetings this way. Maybe the BOC can put some training information or videos up onto our website. there's nothing that we can't do if we put our minds together and come up with the plan. As I get ready to close, I just want to thank everybody who commented on anything and kind of said anything. I know President Turnquist chimed in. There's nothing that is our fault. We're all in this together. We just need to learn from our experiences and move forward. So I'm just going to stay on for a couple of minutes and see if anybody has any questions, and we'll kind of get off. And I will say this to any Cowboy fans that are listening: why is Dak Prescott turning down $30 million? You're not worth $20 million, but that's just one man's opinion. So we will say that. For you Red Sox fans that are on the board, I will just say my Angels came up there. Granted, we only got a split, but at least we took the 2 games from you guys today and yesterday. Anyway, I guess there's nothing left to said. 40-25. Yeah, 40-25, guys. That's a discussion that we had at the state clinic. I just want to talk about that a little bit more. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but TJ, at least we have a place kicker, Mr. Turnquist. TJ, we had a meeting at the state board. I want to say to Joe Vance, you did a great job, along with Mr. Sparks and Tim Lenartz, addressing the 2-minute situation. I think that during our interpretation meeting, we will definitely address the 40-25 situation and how we handle it. For anybody who's worked any prep games or semi-pro games, I would say over the last 3 or 4 weeks, you will know that the biggest problem with the 40-25 is the signal between the back judge and the referee. So we need to try to come up with a signal that's going to help us, but we will get there. Right now it's a slow process. We'll get there. Football is football. You know, you still have to get a first down, 10 yards to sticks, but we will definitely get that information out as soon as we can. I'm confident of that. Self-assigning. When is self-assigning? Self-assigning starts right now, guys. If you click on Arbiter, you can go into Arbiter again and go ahead and assign yourself to any game that you want. If you can assign yourself to the correct position, that's great. But if not, that's fine too. So we can just start self-assigning games anytime you want. Let's see. What else can we talk about? Scheduling. Guys, I really have nothing else on my plate. The second that I have more information regarding anything, I will sure to update you. Maybe next week, maybe next Sunday for 10 or 15 minutes. I certainly don't want to take up any more of your time, but I definitely appreciate everybody who took the time to kind of log in today, to listen in to what I had to ramble on about. And again, I'm very looking forward to the season. I'm excited. I'm excited to be your commissioner. I'm excited to see where this board can go. I'm excited to continue to have your ideas come at me and try to implement some of those ideas. I thought the assignment committee did an amazing job the first night out. The next time we're going to do is we're going to finalize the schedule, maybe flip some crews around to make sure everything is balanced. And like I said, I intend to publish the schedule on Sunday, September 1st. And like I said, been up a lot of sleepless nights. And I told the e-board the next time we meet, we got to meet at the bar. I need a lot of alcohol to kind of get myself back on track. The last thing I will say is this. I didn't have a chance to mention this. There will be a couple of crossover games with the Eastern board and the New Haven board. The Western board and the New Haven board, where we will send a crew up there to handle a couple of games and vice versa. So just need to work that out with a couple of crews. I think that's just a win-win for everyone to kind of go ahead and continue to develop those relationships with the other boards. So if we can go ahead and do that, that would be an amazing job. And pretty much, guys, that is all I have. So once again, I will speak to you guys soon. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, send me a text message, whatever you got to do. But go ahead and check your email. Like I said, I sent out a communication regarding self-assigning for scrimmages. I will make sure that we publish a document for those who are a little technology challenged to go ahead and look at the screen prints on how you can self-assign. I probably should have showed my screen, but maybe I'll get to that next time. But again, it's very easy. Just log into Arbiter, click on your schedule link, click on the tab right below that says self-assign, and then you'll see all of the all of the games. I believe there's like 3 pages worth of games. You can then click on the assignment or the position that you want to. On the far right, I believe it says go. And when you click on that, the system will lock you into the game and you will be assigned to that game. If you try to click on another game, you should probably get an error message that the system will not allow you to assign yourself to another game or unassign from the game that you've already logged into. So it's pretty self-explanatory. Hopefully this all works out and we should go ahead and take care of that as soon as possible. So as the schedules, I know what I meant to say. Last thing, I promise. It is no longer the CCAFO's responsibility to put games into Arbiter. It is our responsibility to make sure that those assignments are assigned. So for some of you who guys are acting as, agents for either the school, an administrator, I know you have a lot of connections with the football program in town. Maybe it's via a son, nephew, daughter, whatever it may be. I cannot put the game into Arbiter. So if there's a scrimmage that you know about that hasn't been posted yet, I am no longer responsible. I shouldn't say me personally. The CCAFO is no longer responsible for entering games into Arbiter. That is the school's responsibility. I sent out a communication this week to all of the athletic directors, just reiterating what would happen if they did not receive or input their games into Arbiter. So basically, for an inter scrimmage or a 2-team scrimmage, we're going to guarantee that 4 officials are going to be there. For a 3-team scrimmage, there's going to be 6 officials. And for a 4-team scrimmage, we're going to send 8 officials. Now, we know that more officials are always going to show up, but we wanted to give them the bare minimum to make sure that we met the requirement. As far as the game in Arbiter, if the game is not in Arbiter at least 12 hours prior to kickoff of that scrimmage, we cannot guarantee that officials will attend. So in the past, when Rob Thiebalt, or whether it was Andy or Larry, would always say at the meeting, hey, I just got a call early this morning from Hartford Public, and they forgot to tell us about a scrimmage that was happening. We're not going to guarantee that we can send scrimmages officials if that scrimmage is not in Arbiter at least 12 hours before the game. We will reiterate that same message at the CCC meeting this Wednesday. And again, I look forward to a great season. If you have any questions, guys, please feel free to reach out to me or President Turnquest or any members of the e-board. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your night.